Hi, welcome back to the Today's Soapbox podcast. This podcast episode accompanies the article Harry Styles All the Time, Album Occasionally, which will be available on my website on March 16th for you to read. This is more of an album overview where I will react to each of the songs. I'll have a reaction from my first listen and then a reaction from a few days later, and they'll be spliced in, so it'll be like old, new, all the way through all 12 songs. The article has more details on the album's release and the conversations surrounding it and some of the interviews conducted beforehand. So they serve two different purposes, but they work together. You can also check out Today's Soapbox on a variety of social media platforms. We are now on YouTube, and there should be some short form content on there too that are like little podcast clips that could be more digestible. We're also on Instagram and LinkedIn and Blue Sky and Tumblr and a bunch of places. So if you are a social media user, I would love to make a connection with you there. So without further ado, here is the episode. Okay, it's the night of HS4. It is 9:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it is March 5th, 2026. And I am recording my immediate reaction to the album. I already kind of redecorated my room a little bit. I put up my 3 Harry Styles vinyls, and then I had 3 more slots on my wall, so I did 2 One Direction albums, and then the slot that is saved for HS4 currently has The Show by Niall Horan. So we're going to get into it, and I'm going to listen to each song, and then I will tell you what my thoughts were on it. It is the morning of March 10th, and I am recording a more processed reaction to Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. I have watched the concert film, I've listened to the album several times, I've been scrolling forums, I've been watching social media content about it, I've watched interviews, so I'm a little more thought out in my response this time, and as a little fun experiment, I'm going to intersplice in my opinion this time, and I'm not going to listen to my old reaction before recording this. So hopefully it will be interesting to kind of compare those ideas. I'm still very happy with the album. I think it's a great album. Some songs have grown on me. Some are less amazing on another listen. So I'm hoping to be a little more reasonable this time. I was very excited when the album came out, and you can probably hear that in the audio quality and the vibes. So without further ado, here I go. So I actually listened to Aperture when it came out, and I'll just talk over while I'm listening to that one. So essentially, I was like a little scared the first time I heard it. I was like, I've already paid $50 to pre-order this album on vinyl and have it shipped to me, and this first song is doo-doo. But then like I try not to be too culty about it. I try not to be like, oh, you must like this. I tried to like it, and I was trying to force myself, so it is bad form, but it's ended up growing on me. I've been singing it pretty much constantly since, and I think it sets a tone of what the album could look like. And right now, before listening to any of the other songs, I am hoping it is like Fine Line. I love that album. I love all his albums, let me just be clear. But Fine Line has a special place in my heart. So Aperture is really hype. I think it's really great. I think it's really danceable. It makes me want to like go out and party with other people. And that's saying something because I tend to be pretty introverted when it comes to party culture. That's French for I don't go to parties. So yeah, I think it's a really fun song. I think it's really exciting. It's infectious. But the first, I would say 3 times I listened to it, I could not remember any of it. I was so worked up that I couldn't remember any of it. Like, it took several listens. I remember in theory what the words were, but I didn't remember the tune. And that's ridiculous because it repeats 1,000 times. But I felt like it wasn't instantly memorable for me. And I think that's okay because at first I was just so excited to have more Harry Styles that I wasn't thinking clearly and I wasn't in a place to receive music. I was kind of in a place to freak out. So, yeah, that's my take on Aperture. I think it's a great song, but it'll be interesting to reflect on it again once I've heard the rest of the album. So, as far as Aperture goes, I am rating it an 8 out of 10 now. I think the song is just so catchy. Part of the reason I like it is I know a lot of people who like it, and I enjoy sharing things I like with them. So I'm really excited about that, and it's very infectious. I started to really enjoy it more when I watched the concert film. It's played twice. It's the opening number and the closing number for the concert film. And I think that really helped it hit for me. And I'm really excited about that. I think it's a great song. I am sure at some point it will be overplayed. But for now, I'm just choosing to enjoy it and be happy about it. I think my favorite line is from the bridge. It says, I won't stray from it. I don't know these spaces. Time won't wait on me. I want to know what safe is. And I don't know. I feel like that's really nice lyricism. I'm shocked that people haven't latched on to that more because that feels like a perfect section for TikTok edits. And as as you probably know after listening to other episodes of this podcast, a lot of my music opinion is influenced by TikTok edits that kind of helps inform the emotional impact of a song for me. And so I think this song is ready for that. I thought the music video was fun. I'm just excited about it, and I like that each album has a hit that you're just kind of like, yes. So I'm happy about that, and I still like the song. Okay, I have just listened to track 2, American Girls. The first thing I want to say is I see a lot of potential for this to be edited to be about like different American women, but also like what about American Girl dolls? Like I was hearing I've known you for ages. My friends are in love with American Girls, and it brought me back to this time of life where everyone was having fun playing with American Girl dolls. Now, I have a feeling that he's talking about real women, but it would make my day if we could get like some Molly and Samantha action in like a music video for this. So that's my initial thought. Um, it makes me feel flattered as an American girl. I don't know if we're being spoken about positively or negatively, but it seems like his friends are in love with American Girls, and that's beautiful to me because that makes me feel like there's potential for me to fall in love with one of his friends and get into his inner circle. And that makes me feel good, and that makes me feel hopeful. I think it's very vibey. I think it's very groovy. The layered harmonies kind of give it like this depth. There's like a lot of lower stuff, and then there's very like singy stuff. And I like the register he sings in because it feels like something I could scream. And I'm hoping he comes to my city so I can scream this song with everybody because we all belong together. I am writing my notes down on a St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital pad that they sent me in the mail the other day. So I may scan my notes in and upload them with the article. We'll see. But I wrote down, oh, yes, ma'am, with 4 H's in O. So, oh, yes, ma'am. So, yeah, and I also wrote down, can't wait to hear this in Target. So I actually very much could see myself shopping in a store, probably Target, because Target plays this kind of music. And I mean that in a good way. But I could see myself like shopping for probiotic soda and like baked goods. I'm not going to name which baked goods or probiotic sodas because you're going to have to pay me for that. So yeah, I'm actually not going to specify, but I can just see myself in the aisle, probably not with a cart. I probably have a basket, and I'm like singing under my breath, like I've known you for ages, and then like people are walking by me, and I'm just trying to enjoy my time. So I can see that vividly in my head. I anticipate listening to this song many times. I fully intend to be annoying with this song. So that is my initial reaction to American Girls. American Girls is one of those songs that at first I was like, yeah, this is a good pop song. And then as I've sat with it, I'm like, this is going to live in my head forever. Um, and I've already seen what I wanted to see. I wanted people to edit American Girl dolls to this song. I thought that was perfect, and people have done it. It has happened, and I can rest easy. I don't need to campaign for that anymore. It's already happening. I'm sure anyone who knows me has been sent one of those edits on a social media platform. So I'm actually really stoked about that. I give it an 8 out of 10. Um, I don't know. Part of me wants to bump that to an 8.5 out of 10. You know what? I'm here and I'm in charge. I'm gonna bump it to an 8.5 out of 10. I think it is such a catchy song. And I mean, he's talking about me. I'm an American girl, and that makes me feel appreciated. My favorite line is the one from the chorus. I've known you for ages. It's all that I've heard. My friends are in love with American Girls. And it just made me feel like, wow, I'm American or whatever. I don't know that it was intended to be an anthem of American pride. However, I'm grasping at straws right now for American pride. And if it takes a British man telling me I'm special, then that's just going to have to be worth it. And I just enjoy the process of listening to that song. It's my dad's favorite song on the record, which I think is kind of cool. I like I said before, I like sharing music with people, especially when they like it too, and we can all kind of enjoy it together. So I think American Girls is a wonderful song. I definitely see that being the song that charts with the album because Aperture has had its moment. I kind of think Aperture and American Girls are the Adore You and Watermelon Sugar of this album. And if you're not familiar with Harry's prior releases, he has his first album, Harry Styles, and then second album, Fine Line, third album, Harry's House, fourth album is this one. And Fine Line and this album both are like dark covers with pink and blue accents. And then Harry Styles and Harry's House are both like neutral, earthier tones, if that makes sense. And so I kind of feel like they work in themes. And so I find myself comparing this album to Fine Line a lot. I feel like if there was a track on Fine Line that could be on this album, it would be Lights Up. And that happens to be one of my, I would say, top 3 Harry Styles songs from his entire discography. So I'm very stoked about that. Okay, I have just listened to Ready, Steady, Go. I like that one. There's hardly gonna be a song I will listen to and not like. That one is gonna be on repeat. I probably said that about all the other ones, and I probably will continue to say that. But that one, I have a waterproof speaker in my shower, and so I listen to music while I shower. And I have a feeling this one is gonna be a shower song. I can just see myself showering. It sounds crazy. I can just see myself working through a task. Like this would be good for cleaning my room or something like that because it just has a driving beat. So it's like, okay, we wash our hair. Okay, we turn the water off. Like it feels procedural. But there's also like so many movements to it. Like you familiar with how classical music has movements? Kind of feels like that. Like it'd be like, oh, here in the first movement we have this type of instrumentation and beat. And then like, oh, here in the second movement there's like different kind of vocals. And so I feel like there's something for everybody in this song, and all of it is for me, and I like that. I am obsessed with the bass. Whoever is doing the bass, it is so groovy. It had me like going like mm, mm, mm. And I think that's what a good song does. He talks about butterflies on our bellies, and that stood out to me because he has a butterfly tattoo on his belly. Um, and I was kind of like, maybe I need to go get that tattoo. I'm not going to, because that feels like celebrity cult worship to be like, oh, let me go get the same tattoo as you. But I can't say it didn't cross my mind during that song. I think this slaps. It's very funky. Like, it's, you know how some songs you like sing along to, and some you just go, mm, 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 nts, nts, nts. It feels like a song. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but I think it's a really good song. I wish I could say deeper things, but I think these are just the fun tracks for now. Um, I know a lot of the words to a lot of his songs, but I don't know what they mean a lot of the time. Like music for a sushi restaurant, I was like, this is nonsense when I first heard it. And then I watched the music video and I was like, if this is what he had planned the whole time, that's great. Like, this is a great song. But if he just came up with this on the fly, um, like the music video to match the song, like that takes talent too. So I found this to be another one of those songs where I'm like, I need a music video to fully feel the composed idea of the song, but I'm not mad at it. I quite like it. I think American Girls is maybe better. Actually, I can't say that. They're like, you can't tell like which child you love more while they're babies. You have to wait till they're adults. So I'm gonna give this one some time to sit. Ready, Steady, Go is one of the songs that has grown on me. I liked it a lot when I first heard it, but I like it more now. I think it's a 9 out of 10 now. I know a lot of people felt like this album was boring. I listened to it and I was immediately like infatuated with it, and I know that that is part bias. I don't know if I would feel the way I feel about these songs if I didn't have like a 15-year parasocial relationship with Harry Styles. I feel like this is one of those songs where I'm like, it makes no sense to me, but I vibe with it, and I vibe with it hard. So I don't really care what that says about my bias because I want to like what I want to like, and I'm not really interested in people discrediting fangirls anymore just because women like it doesn't make it less valuable. So I think this is one of those songs that I'm just like, I jive. Like, I don't have to have some deeper reason. I can just like a song. I like the line that starts it like the one time is all right, two times is one too many, one, two, three times you're on me, and suddenly ready, steady, go. And I feel like it's really awkward reading it like that because it has such a pacing beat to it, if that makes sense. It just kind of has a like a and then like all the words have a feeling to them, if that makes sense. Like they are, I don't know, you know, when you like, this is a very niche experience. When you play music or you perform music, whether it's through theater or orchestra, sometimes, or band, sorry, I forgot about band and choir. Sometimes you have different words that you use to space out notes. So, like, some people space like a triplet, for example, as triplet. Some people do blackberry. And then like 16th notes, people do huckleberry. So it feels like this song is all that. Like each word is in there to space the notes. And I like that. I don't know. This is one of the songs where I'm like, I don't know the words, but I know the rhythm. And so I can just kind of sing whatever I want. And I think that's great. And I think that makes it a good song. Okay, I have just listened to Are You Listening Yet? Yes, I am, Harry. I am listening. First off, that guitar riff. Oh my goodness. I think in the interview I watched, he said that he just kind of like let the guitarist kind of do their thing, gave him the counts, and just let him rip. So I thought that was nice. I thought it was really good. I'm not gonna call it nice. I'm gonna call it really good. Um, Here's the thing. This song, I want to like march to war when I hear it. Like it's very like ba 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 ba. And that I'm incapable of hearing a good beat without being like, what if we marched like to war? And I think that comes from the Les Mis in me. And that can be beautiful, but right now, of course, as I'm recording this, the US and Israel are kind of doing war stuff against Iran, and war looks kind of like it's gonna do its thing. So I'm having a hard time being excited about the war. I don't know. Now, you may listen to it and you're like, why is she talking about war? Because this song doesn't feel like war. Well, he did say weapons somewhere in there. I don't know what the context was. I'll pull up the Genius lyrics, but he said something about weapons, and I was like, oh, that's because this is a war song. But it's not. Like, again, that's not what he said in the interview, so I'm trying to be reasonable. But it's very marchable, and it's got, like, lots of snares, like, ta, 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 ta. And I'm like, oh, yes. He talks about his therapist being well-fed. I felt that on a spiritual level. I'm trying to control F in the Genius lyrics. I'm trying to find where I thought, oh, he said, it's like you're taking up arms, but the message is wet. It sounds inviting, but you don't believe in it yet. Okay, so he said arms. That's why I couldn't control F and find weapons. I think I'm just freaking out because of like the state of the world, but I was kind of like, am I gonna get drafted? And if I do, you know that song where they're like, I left my home, and then they all go, I left my home to join an army. That one. I think we should replace that with this song. So yeah, I think it's about listening to music. Like, are you hearing him? But again, I'm so like America pilled right now that I'm kind of like, uh-oh, what if we have to march to this? Again, I'm probably just freaking out because of the world, and so I probably need to give it a chill. So I'm actually really looking forward to listening to this one again for fun instead of freaking out. Yeah. Are You Listening Yet is still my least favorite song on the album. I give it a 7 out of 10. I understand what the point was. And just for reference, 7 out of 10 is a bad rating in my book. I tend to like songs a lot, and I can find redeeming qualities in all of them. So a 7 is bad because I'll give a lot of things a 10. If I can't find something to criticize about it, I'll give it a 10. So Are You Listening Yet has a nice chorus. It says, now you're all out of choices. Are you listening yet? Between your head and heart and somewhere else instead. Oh, can you hear the voice, the one inside your head? Or are you listening yet? Or are you listening yet? And that just sounds like the voice of anxiety to me. I don't find that like a fun listening experience all the time because it feels like the manifestation of things that I'm trying to put behind me. Like there's just like an anxiousness to the beat. And that really gets me going in a way I don't want to go. So I don't find myself putting it on as often, but I do like, to me this is a no skip album. So I still listen to it, but it's not one I reach for when I'm wanting to pick just one song to listen to. I still hold the opinion that this would be a great song for marching into war, but I don't want to march into war all the time. So there's sometimes where I'm just mad and I'm like, yes, let's go. And then there's times where I'm like, I'm not feeling that. I'm just trying to, drive. Like, I'm just trying to live my life. So, yeah, I still am not, like, obsessed with this song. But, I mean, I'm sure there are people who like it. I've just seen a common opinion online that, like, this is people's least favorite song on the album. I'm not trying to affirm my opinion using other people's opinion, but at the same time, it makes me feel good that there are people who agree with me, and sometimes it's all you can ask for. Okay, I just listened to Taste Back and I don't even like I don't even know what to say other than it reminds me of Harry's House. Like, and that I think is a really good thing because I love Harry's House. I think that album is incredible. It felt like Harry's House, and I like that a lot. It also sounded particularly British. Like, I think we found him in a like particularly British time in his life right now, and I think that's a good thing. There are just certain words he said where I was like, I forgot you're from like over there. Like I know he's British, but like at the same time sometimes I forget. Anyway, one thing the reason I sound so confused right now is just partway through it hit me. I want Niall to cover this. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Niall Horan is one of Harry Styles' old bandmates from One Direction. And I would really like to hear him sing it because I think it would suit his voice really well. I think it suits Harry's voice really well. And in fact, hey, why don't you guys sing it together? I actually think Louis would sound really good on it too. I think Zayn would sound really good on it too. And if he was here, I think Liam would sound really good on it too. All that to say, this would have been the perfect song for a One Direction reunion. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And I think that, like, bit of loss that I'm feeling parasocially is kind of clouding the way I view the song. I am rating the songs out of 10 right now, so that I can kind of compare what songs grew on me and which didn't between listens. So, yeah, I like it. It's very, I don't know, it just feels nostalgic. I don't really know how it could feel nostalgic because I'm hearing it for the first time. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Taste Back. Okay, Taste Back. What a song. I still like this one. I think I like it more. This is one that I just feel like is comforting. I think I said, I'm trying to remember what I said. I'm not going to cheat and listen back to what I said in the first review. Um, I think Niall should cover this song. I might have said that about all the songs. I don't remember. I was kind of in a like haze. But I just really like it. The lyrics of the chorus are must be lonely out in Paris if you talk like that. It was tough with the time, but you called me back, and you know that you can tell me I can take that. Did you get your taste back, or do you just need a little love? I okay, I don't know what it means. I'm sure someone will explain it to me eventually. One of my first thoughts was like the I guess I'll go with the woman that this is about is like in a weird spot in life, and so her taste is bad. Like she's not dressing cool and she's a mess. I don't know. That feels very superficial, so I don't feel like that is maybe the answer. But I was thinking taste um like artistic taste, like the music you listen to, the films you like. Um but then I thought about this is even dumber. I didn't know I could have a dumber take than this. I thought about COVID, how people like lost their sense of taste and and smell. And so I was like, that's kind of funny because it would be like, hey, you had COVID. Like, did you get your taste back? Like, did you recover from that? Or like, do you need more time? Like, what's the deal? Um, and I think that's most certainly not what it is. If that's the meaning of the song, I'll be utterly shocked, but I can't say it didn't come to my mind. So again, I don't know what it's about, but I like it. I'm finding myself singing this one as I like walk around. I tend to just kind of mumble songs all the time because that's just the way I think. It's a form of stimming, and I'm sure everyone around me is sick of it, but they're just gonna have to deal. And this is definitely one of the songs that has been mumbled constantly. So, yeah. Hi, I'm back. I just listened to The Waiting Game. That is like the um, Act 1 finale, if this were a musical. it's just really peaceful. Like, it sounds like Stardew Valley to me. That I may be the only person with that opinion, and I'm comfortable with that. But it feels video gamey, and at first, like when I think video games, I think Wreck-It Ralph. Like I immediately go like, oh, this sounds like Wreck-It Ralph or like Owl City. But I actually feel like it's kind of Stardew Valley-ish. And I think the reason I'm making that assessment, if I like psychoanalyze it for a second, it's because Stardew Valley is calming and it feels emotional. I think this song is energetically Stardew Valley. I also feel like the acoustic guitar is essentially like the same feeling as an 8-bit video game, where it's like, yeah, there's more complicated things you can do, but this feels right and this feels peaceful. Now, that doesn't mean there doesn't need to be like 3D crazy games and like big instrument sounds, but sometimes like 8-bit and an acoustic guitar sound is all you need. So I like that. At first I was kind of like, what in the world? And then it kind of grew on me. And as the song progressed, I felt it sit like heavier. Like it just sat like in my chest a little more. So yeah. And it also felt like something the Jonas Brothers could do a really good cover of. I feel bad that I'm taking this album and I'm going like, oh, who could also sing this? I'm not saying I wish there were like features on it, but I think that what is it? Is it BBC One that does the studio covers? Like when Harry Styles covered Juice by Lizzo. I need some of that action, but with those artists with these songs. So yeah, I like it. I think this is one I'm going to appreciate more as I listen more. So I'm looking forward to that because I'm ready and I'm open to learning. So okay, the waiting game. This is another one that grew on me. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I think this song is so good. The one of the lines is, "You try and you always justify playing the waiting game when it all adds up to nothing." I feel like I know what it's evoking. I can't say I know what it means. Um, but I mean, it's been 5 days since I listened to this. Like, give me a break. Really, 4.5 days. So I've listened to this one probably 1,000 billion times since it came out. Just like it. It's calm. It's comforting. I just really groove with it. I just kind of feel myself like rocking back and forth as I listen to it, and I just like it. I don't know. I feel like I wanted to have a more complete opinion on this album after a couple days, but I'm just gonna play the victim for a second. It is so hard to talk about an album without playing the music. It's so hard, but I don't want to get copyright claimed, and that's annoying, but I wish I could play it. Um, anyway, I think this song is so nice. It's just peaceful. I feel like it would fit on Harry's House or Harry Styles. I think either of those albums could accept this song lovingly. But I think each album has 12 tracks exactly, so I don't really want to mess with a perfect 12. I don't really want to mess with that number at all. So yeah, I think this song is great. Um, I don't know. There's something about it that just makes me feel like someone is hugging me. And usually that would be a bad thing because I don't like hugs. But this is a hug I want, if that makes sense. It just feels like an acknowledgement of me. And that I like feeling seen. And I think that that's great. Hello, I just finished season 2 Weight Loss. And that hit me like a truck. I don't know why. It wasn't like anything particular was said. Uh, but it hit me like a truck. I it's just so like Harry Styles. I mean, obviously, duh. I'm aware he wrote song, but like I wanted to give him a hug. Like I do love you now. I'm sorry we ever made you doubt. But like at the same time, I feel like he owes me a hug because I'm feeling these feelings and he's gotten to sit with them for a minute before he released. But I haven't gotten to do that yet. So I kind of I would like a hug from him specifically because I just felt like, I don't know, it made me realize how much I've grown. I don't know. I don't know how it did that, but I'm feeling it. I'm currently sitting next to a CD I dug out, and it's a CD in which I wrote in black crayon, One Direction, Backyardigans. It is my CD where my dad burned One Direction's first album, Up All Night, onto it in like 2011, and also Backyardigans for me to listen to. And I'm looking at the handwriting, and this is like my 2011 handwriting. I was like 6 or 7 when I wrote that. And then I'm sitting here, like I'm 21 years old, and I'm listening to this album on my phone, and I'm recording this on a microphone. And I'm like, I'm a grown up, you know? It's past my bedtime. I'm a grown up. And I'm like, wow, I'm a different person than I was when this journey started. And isn't that the beautiful thing about the privilege of aging? Like, we grew. Who'da thunk it, you know? And his like refrain he keeps singing of "Do you love me now?" It's interesting because there was never a moment where I felt like I didn't love him. That sounds so bad because I've never met him. But like at the same time, I I just was like, wow. Like the chorus says, holding out, hoping you will love me now. Holding out, hoping you will love me now. Do you love me now? Do you? Do I let you down? Holding out, hoping love will come around. And that's a vulnerable thing to share, I think. I don't know. I didn't write it. But I'm just like, wow. Like there was a brief period where my like biggest celebrity crush was Harrison Ford because I'd just seen Star Wars for the first time. And like everyone has that experience and you're like, wow, I didn't know this existed. Like Han Solo is everything. And then very shortly after that, I discovered One Direction when the first album was out. And I couldn't remember any of their names except for Harry. And my little mnemonic device, I shared this with people, which is kind of embarrassing in retrospect. I was like, you know which one is Harry, because he's the one with the longest hair. I was like, wow, Harry's my guy. I picked him. And then I was like, I also kind of like the blonde one, but I don't remember his name, because I was just really locked into Harry Styles. And I was a Haylor stan back when Harry and Taylor were dating. I'm not anymore. I'm glad they broke up. But like I have Taylor's album about their dating. I have that on CD from when it came out, 1989. And then I have 1989 Taylor's version on vinyl. And just looking from one medium, like my childhood CDs, and then looking at now I put on records and I just feel feelings sitting in my room. I'm like, wow, like we grew up. And I know in the song it talks about, well, like it doesn't talk about it in the song, but conceptually the song is like when a show hits it big and the actors all come back and they've lost weight and they've got plastic surgery and like they all glowed up and now they have stylists and this, that, and the other. So like they come back after their success, they come back bigger. Is the vibes I get. I've heard him describe the concept, but I didn't fully process it. So that's my understanding of it, and that may change. But I felt like I was resonating with that, where I'm like, this isn't season 2 for me. This is maybe season 4. If I were to break my life into seasons, we'll go with season 4. Or maybe 5. Maybe this is not the best use of my time, is thinking of what season is which. But anyway, I found the song Cryable. I didn't cry, but like I'm going to at some point. I feel like this is a song that I will put on like a calming playlist. It feels kind of like it's energetically aligned with like Blue or The Greatest by Billie Eilish. I think both of those songs kind of fit the vibe. But I may be the only one who thinks that, so that's acceptable too. I'm really struggling with how to rank it because I don't know how to feel, and that's scary. So, we'll see. But yeah, that is season 2 weight loss. This one's going to be really interesting to kind of sit with for a little bit. Season 2 weight loss. This is a song that I always forget. Like, I know there's a track on the album called Season 2 Weight Loss, but I always have to like work through it in my mind to figure out what song is Season 2 Weight Loss, because it just doesn't, like, he doesn't say that in the song. Like, he doesn't sing those words, so I have a hard time remembering that's what it's called. One of the lines in it is holding out, hoping you will love me now. And I know it's about him, like Harry. I know it's about just kind of hoping that this new version of yourself is someone that people will like. And that's a relatable feeling to a lot of people, especially as we change. I graduated uni like several months back, and I'm in my first year of like not being in school. And that time of life, you go pretty quickly. Like, elementary school is a long stretch of time, but then pretty quickly you go from elementary to middle, and then middle to high, and high to uni, and then uni to done. And it's transitions every couple of years, especially with the pandemic thrown into the mix. I feel like Gen Z is a generation that has reinvented itself a lot. We've had a lot of opportunities too. But B, we just have grown up during weird stuff. And every generation has this. But I just feel like it hits right now. This desire to have a version of you accepted. Like, whether you were accepted in your original version or prior version, there's still a desire, like, can I maintain that? Or if you weren't accepted, you're like, well, will this version of me be okay? I think it's a song that kind of, I think you can relate to the song if you are somebody who masks, like whether you're neurodiverse or you're code switching or whatever it might be. There's this feeling of having versions of yourself and wanting to be accepted in all those versions, but especially your newest form. Because we never really reach our final form until we die. So, there's some food for thought. So, this song just kind of sits in a spot in my heart that I just kind of resonate with. I don't know. I feel like that's a weird way to say it, but it's one that's, I guess I'm looking back at my rating. The only thing I'm looking at from my previous review is the numeric rating. I did go from a 9.5 to a 9. And I think that's just because I kind of hit like flow state when I was listening to this album for the first time. And pretty much everything from here on out is at least a 9. So I didn't really have the ability to rank lower than that. So I do feel like this score I inflated a little bit too much on the first go. But I'm only altering it by half a point because I do think the vibes were there. Oh, wow. I just listened to Coming Up Roses, and that song is so sweet and so tender. I'm like, I don't want to like walk down the aisle to that. You know? Like, it's the kind of song that you're like, all right, husband, let's walk down the aisle because I want this. I just feel very moved, but I'm also very susceptible to those emotions being brought on. The reason I say that is, I mean, I haven't talked about this on the podcast because why would I? But I played viola in an orchestra for like 7 years, like all through middle school and high school. It's like 5th and 6th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Is that 8 years? Wow, that's a lot of years. Anyway, orchestras really mess with me because I feel those feelings really deeply because I know what it feels like to be in the audience listening to an orchestra piece, but I also know what it's like to be the player. And in that moment, I felt like I was sitting in the orchestra playing it. And that just kind of hit in this moment. It opened with orchestra tuning, which is a fun little detail. It sounded like probably a D. It sounded like they were tuning D. I'm probably wrong. I'll probably come in later with an edit of what the note is. We'll figure it out. But it just was nice. And the use of like pizzicato versus arco, and then like the different instruments in the orchestra, specifically like cello, makes me feel big feelings. And so I just was like, I was right there with it. I wrote down about halfway through the song that this one is my favorite and 10 out of 10. So I hope that doesn't change. I hope I can feel these feelings again every time I listen to it, because it was really nice. I wrote down, I need this in a movie, and then I wrote the note, maybe a Searchlight film. So, Searchlight, if you're looking to make a film and you need a movie soundtrack, apparently I was specific about which studio this needed to be produced by. I don't know if it's too late to put it in that Robert Pattinson and Zendaya movie, The Drama. That comes out in like less than a month. So it might be too late for that. And I actually haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if it's that kind of movie. But this feels just like a romantic song. I can't really think of a song that he's done previously that feels this good. I mean, Sweet Creature feels this good, but in a different way, maybe. It's just very calming. So far, I feel like this is the one that I want to like have chart and be popular, but I don't actually know. I don't know if other people are going to feel the same way that I feel about it. I hope so. I think it's a beautiful song. So that is my thoughts, and it's just kind of, I don't know, I really like that one, and I hope it stays my favorite, but at the same time, I would be happy to be impressed by more songs. Coming Up Roses is still a 10 out of 10. I think this song is so good. There have been points in my life, and by that I mean like the last week, where I have said this is my favorite song on the album, and I do think that's true. But at the same time, it's not, because it kind of oscillates for me. There's kind of like two different vibes I'm looking for. I have playlists on my phone, and there's one called Put Your Hands Up and Dance. And yes, that is a Brat reference. And it's just songs that you just kind of want to like dance to. And they're high energy, and it's a great workout mix. It's a great mix for a walk or a run or something. But then I also have a mix that's just called Big Mix, that is like calmer songs. Lots of Lizzie McAlpine, Phoebe Bridgers, Maya Hawke, that kind of stuff. And Jack Johnson. Oh, I can't forget Jack Johnson. So I find that there's kind of two kinds of favorite song I'm looking for. I'm looking for a favorite ballad, and then I'm looking for a favorite hype song. And this would be kind of my favorite ballad type song on the album. And then, just to disclose it and get it out of the way, I would say my other favorite is Dance No More. And there's this line in Coming Up Roses that says, "But we see out the night with your head on my chest, me and you." It just feels very calm and domestic, if that makes sense. For a very party album, there's like moments like this where you're just kind of like, aw, we're all still people. Like, the party ends and we're still people, and we're looking for love or friendship or whatever we're looking for. So I think this song is very nice. I don't know if I would like it as much if it didn't have the orchestra elements, like the string orchestra elements. That's half the joy for me. I'm like genuinely, I'm not lying to you. That is half the joy is that there's an orchestra. So, yeah. I still like it. I still think it's a perfect song. And yeah, I don't know why it just hits right now. A lot of people are comparing it to Matilda, off of Harry's House. There's kind of this weird section of the album where it goes from Matilda, which is a very like I see you, we're emotional kind of song, and then it goes into Cinema, which is kind of like very vibrant and almost nonsensical. And it's kind of that vibe is recreated on this album as it goes from Coming Up Roses into pop. Coming Up Roses is kind of spiritually Matilda, and pop is spiritually Cinema. So there's that idea. So yeah, I still think this is a great song, and I'm excited to see how it continues to be received. I don't know how the trajectory of the show Bridgerton is going to go, but they need to put this song in Bridgerton right now. It is not a show I've watched, but what I do know about it is that this would be the perfect song for it. So, yeah, I think it's a great song, and I think it's a Bridgerton song. Hi. I just listened to Pop, and that one's a 10 out of 10. I can't think of a single thing I would change. I think it needs to be on every store playlist. And when it started, I immediately thought of The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. The groove is similar. It's by no means like a direct copy. I'm not trying to say that, but the groove feels similar. My favorite Harry Styles song right now is Lights Up. And then I also have had a special place in my heart for Cinema and Love of My Life, like a lot over the years since HS4 came out. And this song kind of has notes of Cinema and Lights Up. Lights Up, that like little hook of like step into the light feels like this whole song. I just like that feeling of like the lights are low and I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. That's what this song feels like. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't really know how to put it into words. Hopefully I'll come up with something nicer to say when I come back. But I don't know. I really like it. I don't know how it feels like Cinema. Maybe because it's like something, something, something pop, and then Cinema's like some, you got Cinema, where it's like that concept is kind of loose. Like it's not the whole song is about pop. I don't know if it's pop like, I assume it's pop like music. I suppose it could be like soda. No, that's ridiculous. I'm gonna cut this off before I say something so unhelpful again. Pop is such a good song. I don't know what it means though. I don't know, I just recorded my review of Coming Up Roses, and I mentioned the Matilda to Cinema arc, and how this is kind of doing that. And so I do feel that Pop is a sassier version of Cinema. Cinema is also in probably my top 3 Harry Styles songs. So it gets difficult because I don't understand what Cinema means. I don't know what the song means. I am decently like intellectual about music. Maybe I just think that about myself, but I do try to understand. But I just don't. And pop is another one of those where I'm like, I don't know what it means, but I like it. It's one of those ones where you're like, I'm not listening to the lyrics. I'm literally just like dancing. And maybe not good dancing. This is one of those songs where you're like, I don't know how to dance to this, but I'm just going to like headbang, you know? There's a lyric that says, am I in over my head? This Could Go Anywhere, I Do It and Do It Again, It's Meant to Be Pop. See, this is another one where I'm like, the lyrics and the pacing of them drives the whole song, which I rate 10 out of 10, by the way. And so it's hard to read them without being like, it's hard to like not hold that tempo. I think it's a great song. It's one that my dad likes. Sorry, Dad, you're getting a lot of shout outs on this podcast for free. But I just like that it's a song that I feel the energy to, and it's a very collective energy. Watching the concert film, everyone was like engaged with this song, and that's just cool. I like that it's a song that can be experienced in that way. And I think it's really important to have songs like that as an artist that everyone can be a part of in that way. Okay, this may be just the state I'm in right now, but that was another perfect song. I just listened to Dance No More. I feel like that song was written to like scream on tour. Like there's lots of moments where it's like, here's a thing you can say, like cha cha real smooth, and I was like, yes. He didn't say cha cha real smooth. I'm just thinking that right now. But I don't feel like you can write this song and then not come to my city on tour. So it would be really nice if you would come to my city on tour. Please and thank you. I really like that. I think that's another one that's going to chart well. It feels like it could be kind of mainstreamy. I think pop is the most mainstreamy so far. I don't know. It's really hard when there's like just the one single, and then like a lot of albums that I don't listen to immediately, I kind of hear through the grapevine like what people like. But listening to it now, I haven't seen anyone else's reaction, so I can't really understand where everyone else is feeling this, but this one feels like a mainstream one. I think pop is probably the one. I think Brittany Broski got to listen to that one. I don't remember which one she got to listen to. But like you really can't go wrong with the second half of the record so far. The second half of this record, like the B side, is like no skips so far. Now we have 2 songs left. They could be doo-doo, and then maybe we'll have skips. But I don't think that's likely. So I'm very happy with that song. And I feel like I want the vinyl LP in my hand so I can just put on that second B-side and just like, yes, DJs don't dance no more. I really like that song. I hope it's not overdone so that I can enjoy it the way it ought to be enjoyed, as Harry intended for me to enjoy it. Alrighty, Dance No More is such a good song. I don't know why it's not receiving all the hype because it's one of my favorites. I keep saying stuff is my favorite when I mean one of my favorites. My favorite line is teach them all to respect their mother. I think it's great. It's Women's History Month. Go tell the women in your life that you love them and show them that you love them by respecting them this month and every month, especially your mother. And if you have a tense relationship with your mother, that is understood, but there is more than one way to be a mother. It does not have to be biological. You can mother people in your life in a variety of ways. So make sure you respect your mother. I think this song is a 10 out of 10, and not just because it encourages people to respect their mother. I think that this song is another nonsense song that I'm like, I don't know what it means, but I love it. And it is one that I think would be really fun to perform live because the audience will interact with it in a certain way. I think that's really cool. I think it has a very good call and response element to it that it makes it very participation based. So I think it's a great song. I think it embodies the sense of this album is a return, specifically to the fans. It's not just like a return to music. This is an album meant to be performed and toured, and Harry Styles put it out with that in mind. And so it feels very We Belong Together, and it feels like the song that you would want to hear live and participate in live. So for that reason, I think it's a really great fit for this album. Okay, that was Paint by Numbers, and this song is calm. My notes on it are kind of weird. I said it's grape juicy. By that, I mean like the song Grape Juice off of Harry's House. It has that hook that's like, and that feels like energetically what Paint by Numbers is just that riff, but like in the back. So if it comes out later that was like incorporated in, consider me a genius. But I also wrote Beatlesy. I don't know if that's like wrong of me to say because the Beatles are like incomparable, but this felt like kind of one of their songs where you're like, dee 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 dee. Does that make sense? Like not Beatles like Octopus Garden where you're like, what are they talking about? Beatles more like Here Comes the Sun where you're like, I get this. And then also like Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, like the "Been a long day, didn't ever see that." That feels like the song. That line feels like the song. Now, this one I think is not as good as the other ones on side B. I don't know that for sure though. So I'm saying that because I'm trying to view everything in context, but also evaluate it separately, and that's hard. Yeah. Shocker to no one. Anyway, this is what you get with a live reaction. Okay, Paint by Numbers is a song that went down a half point for me, sitting at 7.5. I think the reason that happened is it feels a little jarring in the context of the other songs around it. But I do think it is a good wind down to go into Carla's song. So I don't dislike it. It just takes an adjustment after Dance No More. I think it's lyrically really beautiful. One of the main lines is, "It's a lifetime of learning to paint by numbers." There is kind of speculation that this one is kind of about or for Liam Payne, and that is really beautiful. And so, if that is the case, I have a hard time critiquing it because it's not the same kind of song, if that makes sense. So, it was really beautiful performed live for the concert film. I think that is a great thing. It's another slower one. I still feel like it sounds like Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. And I'm not by any means saying it stole from that song. I don't think there's a claim to be made there. I don't think Tom Petty needs to be credited as a songwriter, but it feels like it's in the same key and the same feeling, and that is a good thing because Free Fallin' is a great song, and it is the utmost of compliments to compare a song to Free Fallin'. I don't remember how I talked about it on the first initial reaction, but I do think I sang a chunk of Free Fallin'. So please forgive me for that. But I encourage you to listen to the song with that context in mind. And it's interesting seeing how the lyrics shape up thinking about Liam, and then also how the melody shapes up thinking about Tom Petty. Hi, I'm all done. I just listened to Carla's song, and I had heard him talking about like Simon and Garfunkel, like in the context of the thing, like in the way the album works. I don't know, words are failing me right now. That song felt like a hug. My specific note was, feels like a hug from someone you missed. It feels like a welcome back. I feel like Harry's welcoming us back to the group, I guess the world, I don't know how to say it, the fold, I don't know. But it feels like I would like walk into heaven and like people I miss would be there and be like, it's all waiting there for you. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm ready. Like, you've been waiting for me and I want to see you. So I thought that was kind of beautiful. I'm really moved by it. I thought the story behind the song was beautiful. I wrote about it a little bit in the article. I love that it opens with a Simon and Garfunkel reference. It's like, okay, yeah, beating me over the head with it, but I also did just watch the Apple Music interview today, and I can see why that would be fresh. I think it would be a really good credits song. I don't know what kind of movie I would put it in the credits of. I mean, maybe like a feel good, like run into the sunset at the end kind of movie where like they end up happy, but like maybe it wasn't easy to get to happy. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back with a movie idea of what. Oh, wait, like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse type of movie, maybe? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll come back with an idea of where I sit with it. I think it's um, easily one of the best songs on the album. Carla's song has a great story to it. I don't know, I rated the songs without looking at the other rating, just based on impulse. But looking at them now, I went from a 9.5 on first listen to 8.5. I do think that's another case of like a hormonal response to a Harry Styles album, and it's the last song on there, so I was predisposed to feeling a type of way about it. I believe the last song on Harry's House is Love of My Life, and for a long time, that was my favorite song. I was like, this is the best Harry Styles song ever. I no longer feel that way. So I do think that taking into account my history with these albums, I tend to latch on to the last song. And they do feel like anthems for the project. So like Fine Line ends with the song Fine Line. That is the only album with a title track. I don't know how you would write a song called Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. I need someone to walk me through that one. But this song has got a really touching message, and it's another one of those songs that feels like a true call to the audience of like, this is for you. Like the purpose of music is for an audience. Sometimes artists get burnt out and they have to rediscover music and be like, how do I make music for myself? And that's a valid journey to be on, but I do think there is a sense in which music is for the audience. The songwriting is for the artist, but releasing music is for the audience, in my opinion. So this is another one of those ones that feels like it's a beautiful one to hear on tour. You just would connect with it, I think, differently. Since it's about discovering music, it has a line, saw the light and the gold that you discovered through your eyes in awe. I think that's a really beautiful way of talking about discovering music. And it talks about it's all waiting there for you, which is the idea that some of the things we will like most already exist. We just haven't discovered them yet. Your favorite song may have already been written. You just don't know because you haven't heard it yet. That's how I feel about my favorite song. My favorite song right now is The Long and Winding Road by the Beatles. And the first time I heard that song was through the film Yesterday. And it just hit me like a truck. And I was like, this song people have been listening to for at least 50 years. I don't know when the song was released, but they have been listening to it for more than twice my lifetime. Like the world has been enjoying the song and I'm brand new to it. It's been waiting there for me. Not for me, but like for me in a sense, you know. And it's just a really beautiful sentiment. They talk about like like being a baby with a candy bar. It's one of the lines in the song, something like that. Like, babies try candy and they're like, oh my goodness, what is this new thing? Without comprehending that, like, hey, like, the rest of us have had a Three Musketeers, you know? And it's good. And we're so excited that you now have a Three Musketeers and you get to enjoy it. I think it's a common experience with music, food, movies, and I just think that's really beautiful. And then another line, they talk about, I know what you like, I know what you really like. Then, like, I know what you like, you can hear it all the time, or you can hear it anytime. I don't know. Correct my verbiage if you need to in the comments. But I don't know. That's really beautiful. Like, knowing your audience so intimately that you are creating music for them. That's just really nice. I don't know. It makes me emotional thinking about it. That, like, you're making music for people to listen to for all of time. And that's a heavy weight to carry. It can feel like a lot of pressure. But at the same time, what an honor. What an absolute honor. I feel like I rated these songs poorly, but I'm looking forward to returning to it and kind of getting an idea of where I sit with all of it. So, yeah, I'm excited. I like the album. I have been looking at pop-up shop stuff and to see what, like, merch he's planning to sell. Because, you don't get a Harry Styles album all the time. It's Harry Styles all the time, album occasionally. Like, we don't get fed very often. So I want to enjoy this season, but at the same time, the music is just what I want, but some of the marketing around it, I'm like, this is not just what I want. Like, the album cover will grow on me, especially once it's on my wall and I'm seeing it more often. Right now, I've only seen it when I listen to Aperture, but I'm like, not thrilled with maybe the album rollout, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm happy with the album, but at the same time, like, it's done. Hopefully, we'll get another album at some point, but I'm like, wow, this is something, like, we've been saying HS4 at midnight for years, it feels like, and now I'm sitting here with HS4, and that's kind of a lot to process. So I think I'm trying to, like, not be sad it's over and be happy it happened, but I'm also like, wow, it's done. So I look forward to recording a follow-up reaction and seeing how things sit. I don't know, like, what other people are gonna think about it, and that's on purpose. I'm trying not to let my opinion be informed by that. That's why I'm trying to do a very early reaction. So I'm very curious how my opinions may change. But anyway, that is the end of me doing an initial live listen. On the whole, I think this is a great album. I think it's calm, but also energetic, and that's a really hard balance to find. Like, in the calm moments where I'm trying not to study, I can put this on. In the hype moments when I'm trying to run, I can put this on. So I think that that's great. I think that's a mark of a good album. But there are also albums that are created for a different purpose. There are some albums that are made for the club, and then there are some albums that are made for crying over a piano. And I think the goal of this one was neither of those. It was to be a unifying piece of work. So I can understand why a critic may not resonate with it, because it's not written for the radio in the way it's written for the speaker. If that makes sense? Like, it's not something you put on the radio because everyone will like it and tune in. is something you put on the speaker because you know that setting is for it. So I think it's a great album. I don't know what I would rate the album. If I were to rank Harry's albums, I have no idea how I'd even go about it because there's something special about each one. I think it is not his best album. I kind of feel like I go between Harry's House and Fine Line. So I'll say maybe those are top two, and then Harry Styles and Kisco can be bottom two. But, I mean, it's a pretty solid, like, when you think about since 2017, he's put out 4 albums with, like, a total of, I want to say 48 tracks. That's a really different setup than there are artists who've put out. I hate to always make comparisons to Taylor Swift, but since 2017, she's put out Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, Tortured Poets, and The Life of a Showgirl. That's 7 albums in the time Harry has put out 4. And there's, I mean, like on Tortured Poets and the anthology alone, there's probably as many songs as Harry has ever put out as a solo artist. But then thinking even further back, Harry's been putting out music since One Direction in, I want to say 2011. So Taylor, in that time, she'd already had like 3 albums by then. So you think about there are different kinds of artists, and Taylor can do an Eras tour because there's so much there. Whereas Harry does not have 4 defined eras that I think you could dress up as. Because there's also a lot of themes that echo between albums. So I think it's interesting to look at that context. Coincidentally, Harry did date Taylor, and Spotify has been real nice and messy, and when I listen to Kisco, it starts adding in Olivia Dean tracks at the end. And he also dated Olivia Dean. So I don't know if Spotify's just trying to be messy, but Harry's dated quite a few musicians, quite a few celebrities, and I just think it's really interesting how through it all, he seems to have this really deep love for the fans. I don't know. I quite like it. So that's my review of the album. I would appreciate if you would subscribe. By now, the podcast should be on YouTube, so that would be great if you would subscribe. We're also on, I say we, it's just me right now pretty much. We're on a variety of social medias and podcast platforms. You can find that information in my link tree, which should be in my channel or profile description on whichever service you're on. And I would really appreciate your engagement. I would love to have a conversation. If you want to comment, if you have something to say, I would love to hear from you. What did you think of the album? How would you rank the 4 albums? Were you a Harry Styles fan before listening to this album? How long have you been a fan? There's so many factors into how someone will enjoy this album. There are new fans who will enjoy it differently than longtime fans. And what's interesting is that's exclusive. Like, old fans will never have that new fan experience with this album, and new fans will never have that old fan experience. And that's beautiful that we all have a unique way of experiencing music. So I hope to see you again on a future episode, and thank you for listening.